The person who makes you feel most understood has not found your soul. They have mapped it. And what they built from that map is not a relationship. It is a simulation, running on your own data, designed to keep you inside it. Every person carries an unsatisfied hunger to be completely known, to encounter someone who sees exactly what they are and reflects it back without judgment. When a skilled manipulator detects this hunger, they do not respond to it with genuine intimacy. They respond to it with precision. They learn the frequency of what you need to feel understood, and they broadcast it back to you until the bond is deep enough to use. The mechanism that makes this possible is built into your nervous system. Mirror neurons, often described in neuroscience literature as the brain's social synchrony system, allow you to vicariously register the movements, emotions, and intentions of people around you. As early as 6 hours after birth, human infants begin mirroring the facial expressions of their caretakers. It is one of the most fundamental social calibrations the human brain performs. When a manipulator mirrors your body language, your emotional tone, or your speech patterns, they are activating this system without your awareness. Your mirror neurons register the other person as similar to you, as safe, as familiar, as one of your own, and your nervous system relaxes in a way that your conscious mind did not authorize. In 1992, psychologist Robert Levenson at the University of California, Berkeley, documented the physiological substrate of this synchrony. His research showed that genuine empathic connection was measurable at the level of physiology. Heart rate, skin conductance, even blinking, with one person's body beginning to track the others in real time. A skilled mirroring manipulator forces this attunement artificially. They are not listening to your words. They are reading your face, following your gestures, and using what they find to produce an image of your own unspoken desires back to you. This is not a modern technique. The Athenian statesman Alcibiades understood in the 5th century BCE what most people still cannot identify in a relationship happening to them right now. Rather than imposing his own personality on those he wanted to influence, Alcibiades adopted total psychological mimicry, absorbing the values, behaviors, and aesthetics of every culture he entered. With Socrates, he mirrored sobriety and philosophical virtue. When he defected to Sparta, he transitioned immediately to austerity, cold baths, and coarse food. The Spartans believed he had genuinely converted. He had simply given them their own reflection and let them fall in love with it. Marie Mancini, a commoner in the French court of Louis XIV, used the same architecture more quietly. Rather than competing for the king's attention through politics or fashion, she immersed herself in the romantic literature and heroic poetry she knew he consumed privately, and held up a perfect reflection of the noble, chivalric identity he wanted to inhabit. She did not show him who she was. She showed him who he could be, with her as the mirror that confirmed it. Louis XIV became the Sun King, partly because a woman had crafted the myth and handed it to him as a gift. The psychology underpinning the seducer's mirror is not mysterious. It is documented and replicable. Robert Cialdini's 2016 research on social influence identified what he called peer-suasion, the measurable positive response human beings have to perceived similarity. In controlled studies, waitstaff trained to mirror a customer's exact phrasing received significantly higher tips. Negotiators who imitated an opponent's posture achieved measurably better outcomes than those who did not. The similarity bias operates below the level of conscious reasoning, which is precisely why it is so effective as a manipulative tool. The contrived commonalities a skilled mirroring manipulator deploys, fabricated shared interests, mirrored speech patterns, invented parallel life experiences, exploit this bias systematically. They manufacture a sense of shared identity before any real shared experience has taken place. And because the similarity feels earned rather than constructed, the resulting bond feels more real and more obligating than almost any other form of connection. The seducer's mirror does not break suddenly, it dims. The person who once seemed incapable of existing without you becomes gradually less available. The warmth that once arrived without conditions begins arriving with conditions attached. You do not yet understand what has changed, only that something has, and that the something feels like your fault. What you are experiencing is the withdrawal phase of a specific conditioning cycle that psychologists identify as intermittent reinforcement. The unpredictable alternation between warmth and withdrawal activates the same neural pathway as addiction, specifically the dopamine system's response to variable rewards. When the mirror returns, the relief is so biochemically intense that it functionally overwrites the memory of its absence. You do not stop chasing the reflection. You chase harder. Over time, the withdrawal does not even need to be dramatic to produce the effect. You have been trained by the cycle itself. You begin silencing your own needs preemptively, a pattern researchers call anticipatory silencing, because you have learned that expressing them risks triggering the cold. You stop being a person who wants things. You become a person who manages the mirror's mood. When the mirror withdraws completely, your nervous system does not process the loss as disappointment. It processes it as injury. Research by Kipling Williams at Purdue University demonstrates that social exclusion activates the anterior cingulate cortex, the same neural region that registers physical pain. Your brain does not distinguish, at the level of mechanism, between being cut off by someone you trusted and being physically harmed. Both register as a threat to survival. This is why the response feels disproportionate. It is not disproportionate. Your nervous system is responding to a genuine biological signal. The problem is that the signal was manufactured. The intimacy that made the withdrawal feel lethal was never what it appeared to be. You are in pain from the removal of something that was never really there, which is, neurologically speaking, the cruelest possible design. Understanding the seducer's mirror does not make you immune to it, but it changes the question you ask when you feel perfectly understood by someone you have just met. The question is not, could this be real? Real connection is built slowly enough that the other person's flaws become visible before the bond deepens, past the point where those flaws matter. Anything that moves faster than that, any connection that feels too complete too fast, that seems to know you before it has had enough time to know you, deserves examination rather than surrender. The intense recognition you feel in those early moments is real, but what it is recognizing is not another person. It is your own unfulfilled need to be known, finally finding an object that seems to answer it. You are not looking into a window, you are looking into a mirror, and the mirror is not showing you them. It is showing you what you most want to see. The mirror is not a window into someone else's soul. It is a cage built from your own reflection. The next pattern we are covering operates before the mirror even appears. It is the system used to identify which people are worth mirroring in the first place. That video is